Upcoming in March
in Boksburg, South Africa, moved over here several months ago, has been training here, likes the environment, and indeed is thinking about settling here with his family. And Coetzee, of course, came into the national boxing spotlight, indeed the international spotlight, with a stunning first-round knockout against Leon Spinks back in 1979. This was a title elimination bout with the winner to meet John Tate for the vacant WBA crown. Coetzee came out with an awesome right hand, jumped all over Leon Spinks in Monte Carlo, and before Spinks had any opportunity to get into the fight, he had been down twice. When he is knocked through the ropes for the third time, the fight is stopped, and Coetzee is suddenly very much in the thick of things and on his way to a title bout against John Tate. He lost that subsequent title opportunity to Tate, one of his only 3 defeats. And one of those other defeats came in a most controversial decision against Ronaldo Snipes. He had Snipes on the floor twice, but lost a controversial decision. He knows the importance of this bout today against Thomas.
Very important, because after this, like I said, I just have to wait to get the world title shot. And I believe when I lost to Mike Weather that I was a bit unlucky, because I had him in the 8th round. And it was just luck. It wasn't on my side that night. And like the Englishman said, the third time lucky.
For the second time in his career, he has had to have surgery on his right hand. This fight against Pinklon Thomas was scheduled for October, but when he broke his hand in training, he went back to South Africa, had the same surgeon do the surgery. As you can see, it looks somewhat grotesque. It's puffy, but he says it is not sore and is no problem, and the fight is on today. Pinklon Thomas, 24 years of age, from Pontiac, Michigan, turned professional in 1978 after just 3 amateur bouts. He has had a meteoric career, unbeaten in 20 bouts. His big win, of course, was against James Quick-Tillis, who was then ranked number 3 in the world. Here you see Thomas in action against the veteran Gerrie Williams. He has faced Williams 3 times, knocking him out twice, winning a 10-round decision in between the 2 knockouts. In the second round of this last bout against Williams, he showed knockout power with a good overhand right hand. And so for Thomas, of course, the opportunity now against the number 1 rated Coetzee.
It's a fight that could lead me into title contention. The guy's ranked number 2 in the world. The fight, I suppose, will be shown all over the world, and I want to prove to the world that I am a superior boxer.
Pinklon Thomas will try to prove superior to Gerrie Coetzee, ranked number 1 in the world. And we'll be back with the fight action here in Atlantic City in just a moment. You're looking at Pinklon Thomas, undefeated in 20 bouts. He's just come into the ring here at the Sands Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey. 17 knockouts. You saw a sample of his punching power. A big overhand right is devastating, and that, interestingly enough, is the best punch from this young man, 27-year-old Gerrie Coetzee, now living here in the New Jersey area, having moved from South Africa. And he, of course, has lost only 3 times, along with 28 victories. Hello again, everyone. Tim Ryan, and with us as usual on our boxing coverage, the former welterweight champion of the world, Sugar Ray Leonard, and our own manager of champions, Gil Clancy. Gil, let's talk a little bit about Gerrie Coetzee, because certainly just the fact that he's changing the pronunciation of his name tells us something. He's much more comfortable in this country. He feels the boxing environment is a lot better for him, and he looks to us like a much different fighter.
Tim, Gerrie Coetzee has all the attributes to become a great heavyweight. He has the size, takes a great punch, punches well with either hand. In the past, he's had confidence problems. I think since coming to America, now he's matured, and I think you're going to see a real good heavyweight in that ring today.
Well, now, of course, the hand injury has been a subject of much controversy. Indeed, the Thomas handlers objected to the way it was taped just before the fight. A psych job for sure. Do you think this is going to bother Coetzee?
No, I think it's going to help Coetzee. I think it's made him angry. I don't think he's going to think about that hand. He's going to let it go. We may see fireworks in the very first round.
All right. Sugar Ray Leonard, Pinklon Thomas, of course, came into national prominence with his win over the then 3rd-ranked James Quick-Tillis. You saw that fight. What were your impressions?
Well, Tim, I tell you, that was that fight that I really appreciated, the physical ability and talent of Pinklon Thomas with that good, stiff, powerful left jab, and it's going to be a must for him to use that jab against Gerrie Coetzee and not get in a corner, because Coetzee, I feel, is too strong physically.
All right, well, we'll certainly be watching the first round of this bout, because the mental condition, the mental state of Gerrie Coetzee is still somewhat in question. He has evinced some nervousness about that right hand, even though he says it has not hurt him in training at all. No, but because they asked for a special physical examination, the New Jersey Commission did, and because the Thomas people here today asked to have the wrapping of the hand checked, of course there is some additional mental pressure placed upon this young man. So let's go up for the remainder of the introductions from the ring announcer, Ed Darien.
Gerrie Coetzee.
Fellas, I went over the rules in the dressing room. Look, watch your low blows, watch illegal use of the head on when you're fighting in close. You have any questions at this time? Okay, shake hands. Good luck to both.
So there is the tail of the tape with 24-year-old Pinklon Thomas at 6 feet and 3/4 of an inch, weighing in at 211.5. Coetzee came in at 221 3/4. And Coetzee is in the blue trunks with orange trim. Pinklon Thomas with the black trunks and just a little touch of the pink, which he likes to have every time that he is in a professional bout. And indeed, his nickname is quite obviously Pinky. Round number 1 live from the Sands Hotel in Atlantic City. And it'll be interesting, Gil Clancy, to see, as Coetzee suggested to us last night, that if Thomas comes right at him, it might help him to find out about his hand quickly, that he will react instinctively, and then his fears about that hand would be allayed.
Well, Thomas's past history, Tim, has been as a boxer. He's got a good snapping left jab, but he also told us that he's going to stay right in front of Coetzee for this fight, which I think would be a mistake.
The referee is Larry Hazard. He will not figure in the scoring here in New Jersey. Frank Burnett, Richard Murray, and Paul Cavalier will be the 3 judges doing the scoring on the round system. Solid right to the body from Coetzee, and Thomas ties him up immediately.
He can't just stand directly in front of Coetzee. Thomas has to move and stay out of reach. I feel Coetzee is much too strong physically for Thomas.
Thomas ranked number 7 by both the WBA and the WBC. Of course, Coetzee is not ranked by the World Boxing Council because that organization does not recognize South Africa in the world boxing community. And so since he is a native of that country, South Africa, WBC refuses to recognize him, but he is number 1 in the World Boxing Association. And indeed in line for a fight against the champion Michael Dokes, or the winner of a Dokes-Weaver rematch. A big right hand by Thomas just sent Coetzee backing up.
Well, surprisingly enough, Thomas is not using that good educated left hand that he has. He's looking to load up and land a big bomb, and he did land one.
Well, you know, that's been a big surprise to a lot of the fighters that Thomas has faced, because they're used to that powerful left jab that he has, and now he's able to use that right hand just as effective as he does with the left hand.
Under a minute to go in round number 1. Thomas, like Coetzee, has a new trainer handling him. He is with the very respected Georgie Benton, a great fighter in his own time, and he moved from Seattle to Philadelphia to work under George Benton.
Unusual for Thomas. He's a converted southpaw, and most times when a guy's a converted southpaw, he doesn't have a big right hand, but Thomas does have a very, very formidable right hand.
Under 30 seconds to go in the round, and we saw Coetzee really load up on the right hand, and while it landed only on the arm, it may be a clue that he at least knows now that it is as painless as it has been during training, presumably. Left jab by Thomas scoring. Final seconds of round number 1. Back here in Atlantic City, a fairly cautious beginning for these 2 dangerous heavyweights. We scored it to Thomas, but very close, and might well have been called an even round. Round number 2, Tim Ryan, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Gil Clancy in the aftermath of the Redskins' victory over the Dallas Cowboys. And Ray, I know your son was at the game, but you told me he wasn't exactly cheering for the home team.
Well, Little Ray was cheering for the Dallas Cowboys because he's an idol. Tony Dorsey's the idol of Little Ray, but now I feel that Joe Theismann will be an idol.
Yeah, those kids tend to go with the winners.
Yes, they do.
Well, congratulations from the boxing people at CBS to the Washington Redskins for a great job today against the Cowboys. Good luck in the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, Thomas bullying Coetzee against the ropes with a left right to the body.
Tim, we had that controversy in the dressing room about the bandaging of Coetzee's hands, and so far Coetzee is as tight as a drum. We mentioned that he's matured as a heavyweight. He's been very, very loose. He hasn't shown it today. He's back to that old style, keeping those hands up and being very, very stiff.
In the Stan Ward fight, his last outing, he was extremely relaxed and looked very much like an American-style heavyweight and scored a second-round knockout of the sturdy Stan Ward. There is a slight nick on the bridge of the nose of Coetzee here in round 2. Certainly no problem as yet, but we'll be watching it along with his use of the right hand.
In talking with Coetzee, I found that he was not really sure about himself, about what direction you want to head. If you say, hey, pal, you know, you're in the top 10, he'll say, sure. I mean, it's like it's no big deal. He doesn't realize how big it is to be in the top 10 in the heavyweight division.
And indeed, #1 in the world. Well, he's a very kind of a self-effacing young man, and his confidence has been questioned in the past, and yet he's only lost 3 times in 31 bouts. Oh, he got the left jab in, but missed with a big right. Thomas just picked up the overhand right. Under a minute to go, round 2.
Well, Coetzee now is starting to measure Thomas with that jab. You know, he'll throw it out there, he'll double up on it, and he'll land with that overhand right.
He has a 10-pound weight advantage in this heavyweight fight.
Okay, hold it. Let him out, Gerrie.
Up to this point, Tim, I don't see any signs that Coetzee is favoring that right hand. He seems to be letting it go anytime he has a chance.
Well, he claimed all along that it was no problem. Following the surgery in South Africa, he's been banging sparring partners, hitting the heavy bags. But the commission wanted to make sure the hand was all right, and then Thomas's handlers, in what no doubt was a little added psych at the last minute, questioned the wrapping of the hands with the tape and gauze. The commission said it was wrapped properly.
What's Coetzee doing now? He's starting to out-muscle Pinklon Thomas.
Coming to the end now of round #2, scheduled for 10. Round #3, scheduled for 10. Tim Ryan, Sugar Ray Leonard, Gil Clancy live ringside in Atlantic City, New Jersey, in the black trunks. Pinklon Thomas, the biggest fight of his young career, and Gerrie Coetzee, now living in Brigantine, New Jersey, from South Africa, in the blue trunks with orange trim. A little stiff at the start for Coetzee. Looked to me like he might have started to relax a little bit near the end of round #2. Like Coetzee, Williams has suffered broken hands. Indeed, he broke them both in the same fight. Second fight against Williams. I mean Thomas, Pinklon Thomas. Thank you, Gil. And had surgery on both those hands, and he has had to make a comeback from broken hands. Kind of a coincidence to have these 2 big guys in there, having been through the same problems.
If fatigue should set in with Pinklon Thomas, it will be a number of 2 things, Tim. #1, it will be the fact that Coetzee has, 10 pounds over this guy, and that leaning on and clinching time, like here, tires a guy out. And also, like Gil stated, nerves.
Overhand right grazed Thomas. And he comes back with one of his own that missed completely.
I'm completely surprised that Thomas is not doing a feint job with that left hand. He should be feinting and snapping that jab and moving just the way he started to do then. Can't stand in front of Gerrie Coetzee.
I don't like the way Pinklon Thomas throws that jab out and drops it, because the right hand of Coetzee is very powerful.
Thomas is talking to Coetzee now. I don't know why.
Coetzee again missing with the big right hand, but he seems to have gained in confidence, and they're talking to each other now. Under a minute to go, round 3.
Coetzee has become much more of a relaxed fighter since he's been in the country. He takes his time a lot more. He's become more of a boxer now.
Well, he credits the boxing environment, better sparring partners, different training methods, different styles being taught him here. And talking about staying here with his family, his wife Rena and 2 children. He has his brother working in the corner with him. His father is here as well. Pinklon Thomas, an interesting story in his own right, having come back from a battle with drugs at a very young age. His wife Kathy has had a lot to do with helping him along in his pro career. Final seconds of the 3rd round. Round number 4, scheduled for 10, a capacity crowd at the Copa Room of the Sands Hotel to watch these two heavyweights, number 1 and number 7 in the world. Coetzee on the right of your screen in the blue trunks, Pinklon Thomas in black.
I asked Coetzee at the weigh-in the other day about his feelings about New York now that he lives in the States. He said New York, all the people are frightened, scary.
He doesn't like the big cities, and that's why he was pleased to find that there was another part of America quite different from a big city like New York, and he's living in Brigantine, New Jersey. Not far from Atlantic City.
Tim, both fighters are making the same mistake. They're trying to punch from a standing still position. They're standing still in front of each other and trying to get off. It's very, very difficult to get off with a clean punch when you're standing still. You have to have a little movement in your legs and in your body to make your punches flow. Is that correct, Raymond?
That's true, Gil. In fact, these guys are just trying to load up one big punch, like that right hand by Thomas.
Hot Coetzee coming in, and just moments ago, a good left hook landed, and there's another one by Thomas. Best round for him thus far. Hazard is the referee. He will not figure in the scoring. Under a recent change in the New Jersey Commission rules, 3 judges will do it.
If you notice, there's a certain similarity in styles of Thomas and Ken Norton. Keep that left hand down, faking with the shoulders, and a good right hand.
Part of that angular look that he gives his opponent comes from a martial arts teacher, Jong Lee, who he credits with really saving his career after he broke his hand. He said he was very depressed, wondered if he'd ever box again. He went to a martial arts studio in Seattle, and Lee talked him into a more confident approach to his rehabilitation, put him on a very strict physical discipline routine, and also helped him with some of his strategy.
You know, Tim, I feel that Coetzee should be a little more aggressive and use that weight that he has, that additional weight. Lean on Thomas a little more. Make him tired.
Under a minute to go in round 4.
Thomas is talking to him again. But Coetzee was standing dead still and trying to punch. Standing completely still. Look at the way he's standing there. Very, very difficult to hit a guy from a standing position. Thomas just fades back when he gets off, because you can see him getting off.
Less than 30 seconds to go in the 4th round. 2 dangerous punchers, but neither able to really wobble the other. There have been no knockdowns in this early portion of the fight. Coming to the end of round number 4. Number 5, Tim Ryan, Sugar Ray Leonard, Gil Clancy here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Gerrie Coetzee at the top of your screen, now living on the left of your screen, now living in Brigantine, New Jersey, and Pinklon Thomas from Philadelphia. Coetzee number 1 and Thomas number 7. Neither fighter able to dominate the early action here. And kind of a flat-footed style presented by both of them. This is a little bit the way Thomas fought Tillis, Gil.
Yes, and in the Tillis fight, both fighters were tired very, very early in the fight, Tim. And if that happens to Thomas, it could be fatal for him.
Now we notice some blood near the left corner of the eye of the left eye of Thomas. And a good combination was scored by Coetzee. That could become a problem.
Well, Thomas can definitely not get in the corner. He must not get in the corner because it will be detrimental. Because in the corner against Coetzee has that weight and he has the power to get a guy like Thomas out of there.
Coetzee is starting to try and jab more, but he's been short with it.
Timmy, all he's doing is just pushing out that jab. That's just for show. He has to snap that jab, get it in there a couple of times. Then when he feints the jab, he can get a combination off.
Another thing, Gil, I feel that Pinklon Thomas can stop all that rushing in of Coetzee by just throwing a jab out.
Yeah, there it was. He has to jab, Thomas. It's his best tool, and he's not using it.
That was a very good shot to the body.
Hard shot to the body, and he came right back to the head. Good combination by Coetzee. Those were damaging blows.
Big right hand by Coetzee again.
Again, that left jab of Pinklon Thomas can stop Coetzee momentum. He can stop it. Because what happens, the fight gets a rhythm, and you can stop that rhythm with just extending your left jab.
Coetzee mixing it up a little more from the body to the head now here in round number 5. And looking a little bit looser as the fight has gone along, seems to me anyway. Do you gentlemen agree? Under a minute to go, round 5.
Oh, he's far more relaxed than it was in earlier rounds.
He's over the nervousness, Tim, but he's still standing still entirely too much. And when he jabs, he's not even trying to hit Thomas with the jab. He's just putting it out there for show.
Gil, what do you think will happen if Coetzee should start bringing his punches under? Throw some uppercuts when Thomas goes down.
Well, Tim, Ray, he's already thrown about 6 or 7 right hands over Thomas's head. It wouldn't hurt for him to drop a couple in the body. Then it'll be easy to hit Thomas in the head. No question about that.
Under 30 seconds to go in the 5th round. An overhand right landed from Coetzee. I want to remind everybody we've got a full day of sports action on CBS. We'll be going to NCAA basketball regional action. You'll see either West Virginia and Rutgers, Tulsa and Bradley, or Idaho against South Carolina. Check the local listings for the game in your area. Final seconds of round number 5. Round number 6, a scheduled 10-rounder, and there were some observers of the boxing game that thought it might not go this long with the power and the right hands, particularly of these two heavyweights. A heavy shot to the body by Coetzee backed Thomas away. Pinklon, Thomas in black. Gerrie Coetzee in blue and orange. And a good solid shot from Thomas. Moved Coetzee backwards. Thomas's corner did a good job on the little nick around his left eye. His trainer, of course, Georgie Benton. Ace Murata and Tommy Hawkins working the corner with Benton. Willie Locke is the trainer of Coetzee. He is from South Africa and came over here with him. His brother Flip and Carmen Graziano in the New Jersey area working his corner.
While the left jab of Pinklon Thomas is working, I mean, the body of Coetzee is exposed. He can go there and then fake up to the head with the right hand. He should start mixing his punches up a lot more.
Well, there's that bullying you mentioned. He's capable of that, and he has done it often during his career, but he used his strength there on Thomas, trying to keep him pinned in the corner.
Well, Tim, Ray said muscling him, and you said bullying him. That's what they say in the Irish saloons, putting the bull on the guy.
Coetzee has showed his strength. I'd like to alert our stations along the line. We'll have a station break at the end of this round. Left hook landed by Thomas.
Both of these fighters take a tremendous punch, Tim, and that's a great attribute for a heavyweight. As a matter of fact, the most important attribute for a heavyweight.
Coetzee has only been stopped once in his 3 defeats. That was by the champion Mike Weaver in the 13th round of a real tough fight for the title in South Africa. Of course, Thomas unbeaten at 20 pro fights. A minute to go in round number 6.
Pinklon Thomas needs to go to work now. I mean, he's moving, he looks good doing it, but he needs to do something while he's moving. Throw some punches. This is a very, very good left jab. But he's making a mistake of standing directly in front of Coetzee, and Coetzee is doing more damage to that left eye.
And there is some more swelling around that left eye of Thomas. Combination scored by Coetzee before Thomas tied him up. Under 30 seconds to go in round 6. 2 big right hands, both landed but just in grazing fashion. Now pounding away Coetzee, but he missed again.
That punch thrown by Coetzee was like it was left uppercut. Very effective.
Final seconds of the 6th round. We'll be back with more boxing from Atlantic City after this word from your local station. Tim Ryan, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Joe Clancy live from Atlantic City. You're looking into the corner of Gerrie Coetzee, ranked #1 in the world by the World Boxing Association. The victory here today would ensure him a title opportunity against either Michael Goetz, the champion, or the former champion Mike Weaver. Pinklon Thomas in black.
Tim, Georgie Benton in Pinklon Thomas's corner said, he said, you're giving this guy too much respect. Walk up to him, walk behind the jab, and cut loose with both hands.
Do you agree with that strategy, Ray?
He needs to do that. He has become more aggressive. He's losing a fight by moving backwards. He's given Coetzee momentum, and to give a big man momentum is like letting a Mack truck run into your front room.
Pinklon Thomas now living in Philadelphia, so he can be trained there by Georgie Benton, having moved from Seattle, where he took up boxing when he was nearly 20 years old. Turned professional in 1978. Had a rough time as a youngster, but stuck with his wife, Kathy, who was in the Army, and now has his life together and a good pro boxing career underway. Ranked number 7 in the world.
Again, Tim, that uppercut of Coetzee is very, very effective.
Combination scored by Coetzee has got Thomas in some trouble. Coetzee pounding away, lands the overhand right twice.
Now Coetzee should stay on top of Thomas now. Pinklon Thomas still a little dazed from that attack.
Now's the time to feint the jab and get off with a combination. He shouldn't be waiting for Thomas again, and that's exactly what he's doing. I think maybe he's afraid of punching himself out. He thinks he's in the lead, and he's into that prevent defense, Tim. That's no good.
I know you don't like that prevent defense at all, Gil. We'd like to alert our stations once more along our line that there will be another station break at the end of this round. We're in round number 7. Minute 20 to go in the round.
Tim, I have to make the comment again that Gerrie Coetzee does not look any different than Gerrie Coetzee, the South African. He's fighting the way he used to fight when he was fighting in South Africa.
Quite correct. This is not at all like the Stan Ward fight. Of course, that only went 2 rounds, but he looked much more like an American heavyweight, was loose, effective, moved, and landed the big punches, stopping Stan Ward.
Tim, to nail a guy and get him out of there, you're going to have to catch him coming in. To catch him coming in, you have to slip a punch and punch yourself. The only time either one of these guys is landing a punch is when they lead. Nobody's beating the other guy to the punch, and nobody's catching a guy after he makes a miss.
And also inside, you know, neither fighter will throw punches. And that's where you can score points inside.
Well, evidently, they both expect that they can land a bomb or 2 that'll take the other guy out. It doesn't always happen. We're coming to the end of the 7th round. It hasn't happened thus far. Nobody's been down. Remember, we've got college basketball action following our boxing coverage this afternoon live on CBS. 3 regional NCAA games. Check your local listings for the game of time in your area. We'll be back with more boxing from Atlantic City after this word from your local station. Okay, friend. With Sugar Ray Leonard and Gil Clancy, we're ready for round number 8. A lot of people didn't think it would go this long. Pinklon Thomas in black. Gerrie Coetzee, newly adopted son of Brigantine, New Jersey, from Johannesburg, South Africa. A very close fight as we see it, and one of those ones that may be a little difficult to score. I've got Coetzee slightly ahead on my card, but you could certainly make a case either way. Now that cut to the left eye of Thomas looking a little more angry, Ray.
Well, it is, and the fact, well, the mistake that Coetzee is making, Tim, is the fact that he hurts his opponent, gets him in trouble, and doesn't take advantage of it. The mistake that Thomas is making is the fact that he's not aggressive anymore, and he should be working that left jab. It's a very good left jab that he has, and he should use it a lot more.
Good left jab, but we haven't seen it today. One thing I like about Thomas, though, every time it looks as if Coetzee is really going to take over and dominate, maybe end the fight, Thomas just seems to suck it up and get right back after Coetzee and get back in the fight. He's done it 2 or 3 times already. Good competitor, Pinklon Thomas.
Good combination scored by Thomas. Knocked Coetzee back into the ropes. He's got him backing up. Coetzee has had 200 amateur fights, 10 more professional fights than Thomas has. So he has a big edge in experience, but Thomas not showing a lot of respect, and he landed the right-hand lead.
And this is where you might see a knockdown, Tim, when both fighters come towards each other with those big, powerful right hands. It doesn't matter who punch land first.
That's right. The first time that one guy beats the other guy to the punch.
Combination scored by Thomas off that jab from Coetzee. Good round for Thomas. Another combination scored.
He's a competitor, Tim.
He sure is.
Well, I said earlier that I thought that Coetzee was physically strong.
There it was, Ray. You talked about throwing punches at the same time.
2 big right hands, and now Coetzee is bleeding. Also near the left eye.
Well, I said that Coetzee was stronger, but they seem to be even. And it seems to me that Pinklon Thomas is coming on stronger as the rounds go by.
Coetzee hit Thomas with his Sunday punch, and he didn't move him at all.
That was a good right hand by Pinklon Thomas. Timed perfectly.
Into the 36 30-second mark in round 8 as they start to slug away in the center of the ring.
Tim, here's where the cut man comes in. He's very, very important. This cut man can save this fight to Coetzee, or it could be stopped. It's a very, very angry cut.
And if you notice that the right hand by Pinklon Thomas is a leadoff right hand. He fades back and comes over.
Final seconds of the 8th round.
He just did it again.
A solid left by Thomas. Round number 9. Both of these heavyweights in trouble with cuts. Coetzee and Thomas, and the blood still flowing from the cut above the left eyebrow of Gerrie Coetzee. The cut man Eddie Aliano worked desperately on it, but could not stem the flow. Thomas's cut, meanwhile, near the corner of his left eye, has been stemmed somewhat. Round number 9, a grueling battle. The tempo having picked up in the last couple of rounds. It's still close as we see it.
You know, Tim, it's amazing how when one fighter cuts the other, how it can increase his adrenaline. Sometimes the fighter is so tired, it looks like he can hardly go on, and all of a sudden the other guy gets a cut, and he's as fresh as a daisy. Just goes to show you how much your mind has to do with your physical condition.
Well, I just noticed something in Pinklon Thomas. The way he shoots that left jab right now, he puts a lot more pepper behind it now. He's putting his body behind it.
It is a slugfest now between these two big heavyweights, and Thomas backs up Coetzee. Two strong young men, 27-year-old Gerrie Coetzee. Pinklon Thomas, 24 years of age.
Thomas is starting to stiffen up on that left jab, which could do even more damage to the left eye of Coetzee.
Well, we had the Redskins over Dallas. We've got college basketball upcoming after this heavyweight action, and we'll be going back to RFK Stadium and Brent Musburger as well. A big day of significant sports events here on CBS. Oh, a solid right hand right to the eye of Gerrie Coetzee. He visibly winced from that one. Thomas lands another right to the face of Coetzee.
Thomas is fighting with complete confidence now, Tim. Very, very relaxed. Seems to be completely in charge.
Toward a solid left. As we were speaking.
The punch that might do the damage is that left hook and right hand by Pinklon Thomas.
Under a minute to go in round number 9. Coetzee fighting with more desperation now. If there was a tide to be turned, it would appear to have been turned by Thomas in the 9th round, and he just landed a straight left.
Mirage punches thrown by Pinklon Thomas made him a little arm worry. And you see now he's just coasting himself. Again, this is when Gerrie Coetzee should take advantage of it.
Under 30 seconds to go. Coetzee loading up on the right, and Thomas blocked it.
That's the mistake. The big punch has to come by itself. He should be setting it up.
Coming to the end of the 9th round. More blood from the cut of Gerrie Coetzee. Now at the end of round number 9, let's go back to RFK Stadium and Brent Musburger. All right, Brent, you see them feverishly working on the cut. It's over the left eyebrow of Gerrie Coetzee, the cut man Eddie Aliano, very respected cut man in the business, doing the work there. And over in the Thomas corner, they've really lathered up his cut with Ace Murata and Tommy Hawkins working on him. This is the final round. Round number 10. Number 1 ranked Gerrie Coetzee, and risk of perhaps losing that number 1 rating. Number 7 ranked Pinklon Thomas trying to move up.
Tim, I think going into this round, Coetzee is going to have a big, big round to win this fight. Thomas took it away from those last 2 rounds.
Well, those last 2 rounds were really big rounds for Pinklon Thomas. And for Coetzee, I feel, to win, he has to really big this round.
He has to move those hands, Ray. Can't be with one punch.
He has to put them together, both hands.
Well, one wonders, as Thomas pours it on, the effect of the controversy about Coetzee's hand, how it affected him mentally for this fight. May indeed have been a factor. Right now, he's got to blank it all out. Let it all hang out in the final round, but Thomas has the edge.
I don't believe it's a problem with him, his hand now.
No, I don't believe it's hurting him. I just wonder coming in, whether or not it was in his mind, because he's not the most confident man, as you yourself said.
You're right about that.
He is in a war against the strong young Pinklon Thomas from Philadelphia. Good right hand landed by Coetzee there.
And you see what happens. Coetzee gets his man in trouble and stops.
Thomas scoring inside, and he backs out Coetzee.
That's what I mean about being a competitor, Tim. This Thomas is a heck of a competitor. He just doesn't let you take it away from him.
Landed another left hand. Final round of a grueling 10-round heavyweight bout. Not many people thought these two fighters could withstand the bombs being thrown.
That right hand of Pinklon Thomas is so accurate now, I see, Tim. He lands it with authority.
Coetzee coming in.
That was the left jab I was talking about, to stop a man's rhythm. Instead of stopping the momentum of a fighter. Extend the left jab.
Under a minute to go in the fight. Remember, we'll be going back to RFK Stadium, and we've got college basketball ahead. Live regional action from around the country. We'll see West Virginia or against Rutgers, or Tulsa against Bradley, Idaho, South Carolina.
Coetzee's landing some big punches, Tim.
Big combinations landed by Coetzee. A late rally by Coetzee, but Thomas going toe-to-toe, and he backs Coetzee away again. Two brave young heavyweights. 20 seconds left in the fight. Another right hand by Thomas. Final seconds of the fight. Neither fighter has been down, and they're going to go the distance, but they have paid a heavy price. There's the final bell. Two weary warriors, Gerrie Coetzee and Pinklon Thomas. Thomas rallying well and winning the last 3 rounds as we see it, but of course the 3 judges at ringside may have their own point of view. It's a close fight no matter what the official outcome is. But we saw 2 game guys going at it here, and certainly the great surprise that neither of them, despite throwing that heavy-duty, those heavy-duty punches, did not go down. Well, we'll be back here in Atlantic City with the decision in this important heavyweight bout. Right now, we return you again to RFK Stadium in Washington and Brent Musburger. All right, Brent, we're ready with Ed Darien and the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the scoring as follows. Judge Frank Brunette scoring at 5-5. Judge Paul Cavalier scoring at 5-4-1 Coetzee. And Judge Richard F. Murray scoring at 4-4-2, and this is a majority decision draw.
Well, it is a draw. Frank Brunette scored it even. Richard Murray 4-4-2. A draw. Paul Cavalier, the only man to tip the scales toward Coetzee, 5-4-1, but that is a majority decision draw. And we had it 5-4-1 even on our card for Thomas, so you really can't quarrel too much with the decision one way or the other. It was a very close fight. We thought Thomas was stronger in the later rounds, and Pinklon Thomas and Gerrie Coetzee fighting to what you have to call a hard-fought draw in the real sense of the term. So for Sugar Ray Leonard and Gil Clancy, this is Tim Ryan saying so long. Let's go back to Brent Musburger.